I think it's safe to say when you've got the likes of Bellingham, Kroos, Modric, Camavinga, Valverde, Tuchel, Ceballos and Arda Güler, you need to have a dominated midfield, and we are going to go over Ancelotti's incredible diamond tactics inside of FM23. If you do enjoy the tactics on this channel, be sure to leave a like, drop a little subscription below and hit that lovely notification bell, but let's get right into it. So as always guys, we are going to have 3 incredible variants to go over, and I do want to quickly thank all of the wonderful names coming down the screen. These are going to be new or existing Patreon members. Patreon is a great way to pick up some really cool perks for yourselves, including 3 wonderful files which you are going to see today in one simple download, early access to the videos and also the tactics. You get priority in your tactic and rebuild requests, one-on-one tactical help and much more, and also it really does help me out as a creator. So if you do want to check it out, you can click that wonderful link in the description below. But let's go ahead and talk about Ancelotti's diamonds. Let's go over it then. Some things might change in these player roles, so be aware of that. We are going to talk through every single role and why it is needed in the team. I'm going to kick things off with the sweeper keeper on defend, funny enough, and that's because when Courtois, obviously at the moment not Courtois, is going to be Kepa, so I don't know if that is going to change at all, but Courtois isn't really much of a keeper that is going to come out and do much in terms of coming out of the box and playing out from the back, so he is going to be a sweeper keeper in my opinion. But he is going to be set to defend, so a quite restricted and sensible option to have in goal. When it comes to the wing-back on the right, we're going to opt for a wing-back on attack. Very crucial in this team, because they are going to provide majority of the width in this system. Cross, aim centre and stay wide are going to be your best friends on this occasion. Also, the default instructions include run wide with the ball, cross from the byline and get further forward. So you're going to have 2 very good fullbacks there, going forward, or wing-backs, should I say, creating chances and also making lots of chances for these players to pass to. What you're going to naturally notice is this player sort of drift over into this area here. Also, this striker, when he's not running in behind, is going to drift into this pocket of space here, and it's very easy to form 3 or 4 passing areas and dominate possession in your games. Next to the wing back on the right, we're going to have a ball-playing defender on defend, and he's going to be simply told to be marking tighter. One of the key things in Real Madrid's team, Rudiger plays this really well. He always man-marks players, literally tugs them, literally does not leave them alone, and it works really, really well in this defensive system. Next to him is going to be a central defender on defend, on take fewer risks, and also mark tighter, so both centre-backs are going to be marking really close to their man and preventing anyone from getting in behind and just being a real handful to deal with. On the left-hand side, we're going to have a wing-back on attack, and he's going to be on the same instructions as the right. I will go over him quickly. Cross, aim centre, and stay wider. Nice and simple. Basically, why they're the same is because they work so well. We want wing-backs that are going to be very attacking in this system, and in my opinion, having them on support is fine for the defensive variant, but even for the balance variant, you need to have that attacking outlet, and that is where a lot of the chances are going to be coming from. In terms of the midfield, we are actually going to opt for one of my favoured roles in midfield. That is going to be a register on support, simply on mark tighter. A lot of tight marking going on in this midfield, making it quite restrictive and very hard to obviously get past, and the register is the ideal role. It's what I'd sum it up in real life for Real Madrid as well. And we've just got to admire the players they've got to deploy in these positions. I mean, endless talent, and they haven't stopped yet. I mean, absolutely incredible. Next to him, this is going to be Jude Bellingham's role. The box-to-box, it suits him down to a T. It really does. I've called Bellingham the perfect Liverpool player because of this role. I think he would have been a great addition, but I can see why he chose Real Madrid, to be fair to him. Pass it shorter, run wide, and also tackle harder are going to be your go-tos in this area. Suits Bellingham down to a T, so if you are doing a Madrid save with this tactic, yeah, you've got one hell of a player there. Next to him, we are going to rock with a Carrillo. I believe that's how you say that. Hopefully, I've not butchered any names. That is going to be on support, on run wide, and tackle harder. Very crucial. Run wide is obviously on one of these players because it does help add a little bit more width to the team, despite having this fantastic option at wing-back who is going to provide width. We also need this player to be a little bit more situated to the right-hand side. Ahead of him, we are going to opt for an advanced playmaker on support. On a ton of instructions, no, I have not just gone spam clicking. They do honestly do a lot, guys. They really do. And that is going to be pass it shorter, dribble more, roam from position, move into channels, and also tackle harder. So this player has got a lot to do, don't get me wrong, but essentially, to sum it all in one simple instruction, we have got a free roaming advanced playmaker. A player that is going to be all over the field, causing issues, getting into pockets, finding lovely areas of space, and that's exactly the role I want to see. Well, it's been Bellingham has been playing in, but for me, Bellingham, box to box, advanced playmaker, let somebody else do it. But do you know what? this here, this diamond, this beautiful shape is absolutely sensational. And going forwards, we're going to have the advanced forward on attack, on pass it shorter, dribble more, run wide, roam from position, stay wider, and tackle harder, all on attack. Now, the one key instruction, which if you've got to change one thing, make sure it's not this one. You need to have stay wider on both of these advanced forward players because it means so much to the team. Like I said, width is one thing which you don't naturally get with a diamond midfield, so it's all about getting width from different areas, and the strikers are the two areas you want them not to be stagnant and always narrow. Let them drift out wide, let them go into dangerous areas. We've got two fantastic players here in Vinny and Rodrigo. Let them utilise their talent. And it is going to be exactly the same on the right-hand side. And that is going to be the player roles done. Let's switch over now to the team instructions. So we're going to start off with in possession, and we are going to work through these because I want to explain exactly what the thinking is behind it, just so you know, not clicking random things. So it is going to be an attacker mentality to start with, and that's purely because in FM strictly, sometimes stacking up the midfield, does cause your team to be a little bit too passive. So having attacking is a great option to do so. In terms of the attack and width, we're not going to go to fairly narrow, obviously, and fairly wide still wasn't enough. So we are going to go for fairly wide, but the one up. So that is going to be 3 clicks to the right, and this just spreads out that team in a nice position. We're also going to opt to have pass into space on. Again, Real Madrid can hold on to the ball really well, as they do, but they're also not afraid to play a long ball in behind. Preferably going to be going to Rodrigo or Vinny, obviously making those runs in behind, and especially when they are told to stay wider, they get in some really good areas. Now, considering how attacking the fullbacks are, it only made sense to have overlap left and overlap right on. Both wing-backs getting involved is a crucial part of this system. Obviously, I can't stress that enough. So if you haven't got good wing-backs that can't put a ball in the box, maybe this isn't the tactic for you. I'm always honest with you guys what tactic is best for you. I'm never going to sugarcoat anything. 100% honesty all the way through. I'm going to go through the middle now because this is going to be a key area alongside of playing out from the back. So we are going to play out from the back. Obviously, Madrid might not be the most known team in the world for doing it, but they do it, playing it around the back. And obviously, we've got a focus to play through the middle when you've got, you know, 4 world-class midfield players all to be used at the same time. They're living the dream. They really are. Now, in terms of the passing directness, you could argue with standard, but just because it's FM, sometimes having standard and pass into space is way too wasteful in possession. So we're going to tone it down 1 and go to shorter, and that works really, really well. You're going to be confident in possession, but also you're not going to be too restricted to never going long, with alongside of having pass into space on. We're also going to have whipped crosses in because I feel like this suits Real Madrid's style very, very well. And alongside of that, we're going to have work ball into the box and also be more expressive because, again, this thing especially, being more expressive, really helps get really good performance inside of the game with this formation. And work ball into the box is a great way to create high quality chances and put the ball in the back of the net. Now, over to in transition, only a couple of instructions going to be selected for this one, and that is going to be counter because they are a counter-attacking team. I'm pretty sure that's quite common knowledge by now. We're going to distribute to the centre-backs, obviously. Preferably it goes to Rudiger, who is going to be on the right-hand side, a little bit more comfortable with the ball. And we are also going to choose to roll it out. But to be honest, if you wish to take short goal kicks, there isn't going to be too much difference. And in terms of the out of possession tab, a few things to talk through here. We are going to instantly go to the trigger press, and we're going to have that on, not that one, on more often. It's a very good way to have a little bit of pressing going on in the team without completely tiring the team out. To be honest, with the amount of trigger press we've got here and the tempo, this tactic is not very strenuous on your players at all, meaning you can get away with playing the same team majority of the games, to be honest, if you've got the correct training in place as well. We're obviously going to have get stuck in. Real Madrid are not shy of, you know, stopping a counter-attack here, there, or everywhere, so the odd booking is to be expected. Again, common knowledge, common sense, but if you are picking up too many bookings, you can take this instruction off. Just be aware it is going to slightly change how the team is going to play and display themselves on the field. And the last change is going to be the standard defensive line alongside of the high pressing line of engagement. And that is going to be the team instructions. But of course, please do stick around because I've got to show you the results, some goals, and also we've got 2 more amazing variants for you guys to check out. So it's quite safe to say we definitely didn't struggle against the big teams using this tactic, as we absolutely thumped Barcelona in one of the Champions League first legs. You can see there how quickly it can transition from Barcelona into possession. We win win it back, ball gets played over the top, and we're going to see it so often. A little bit of pressure here comes in, Gundogan puts a foot wrong, Rodrigo through into Vinny, great touch, and an even better finish. And this is what this tactic, honestly, guys, can do it all. It's a perfect mixture of high pressing, tiki-taka, and also when there is a good run in behind, we use it. As you can see here, Rodrigo and Vincius linking up, or Vinicius, I always butcher that, I do apologise. Honestly, an absolute dream, these two. Going out wide now, back inside into Tuchel. He's going to take a touch, hit it. Ter Stegen's flapped, will take the rebound. So now over to the attacking variant, and I would download this if you can. If not, do copy it, because I did use this in a lot of the cup final games if the game was a little bit slow or I went a goal down. So definitely do get this added to your tactical files. But it is going to be kicking things off then. A lot of the players are going to remain very similar. So for example, the back line remains exactly the same. The register remains exactly the same. The box-to-box is going to have a few more instructions on now to make him a little bit more of a handful when he goes forward. So pass it shorter, run wide, get further forward, move into channels, tackle harder, that beautiful stuff, making him a lot harder to actually defend, and is going to be causing all sorts of issues when he is breaking and going forwards. Next to him, we opted for a Metzala instead of the previous role, because again, it's all about attack and we are trying to get more goals, and it works really well. On attack, run wide with the ball, and also tackle harder. Ahead of him, we're going to have an advanced playmaker who is going to remain on very similar instructions, but of course now it's going to be on attack, on pass it shorter, run from position, move into channels, and tackle harder. Basically everything we had before, but on steroids pretty much, and the front two remain exactly the same. In terms of in possession, by the way, it is going to remain as attacking. We are going to have one change. Nice and simple. That is going to be slightly higher on the tempo. Since we are a bit more desperate for a goal now, we're trying to take the game to the opposition. We are going to up the tempo by 1. If you need a goal desperately, I'm talking last 5 minutes, last 10, max it all the way up. In transition, to be honest, everything remains exactly the same as well, because it works just really well as it is. It is naturally quite an attacking tactic, but we are going to have distribute quickly added to the in transition tab. Possession is going to look very similar, and there are a couple of things you can change on top of what I've done. So you can have this maxed all the way out if you really wish to. I'm going to leave that down to you guys because it is very game dependent how your players sort of look. In terms of the line, we're going to go with a high line on this occasion, push the team up the field a little bit. We've got Get Stuck In on, and the one thing you can change if you want to is have step up more for the defensive line, which is obviously going to make it a lot more sort of aggressive, stepping up and pushing the ball into the opposition half. But you know what? We had a fantastic season with Madrid, guys. We really did. We played 38, we won 34, drew 3, lost 1, 105 points. Absolute class. Champions League final also comes back to Madrid in a very comfortable 2-0 win over PSG. The Copa del Rey also comes back to Madrid in a very heated victory, but still a heated game against Barcelona in a comfortable 1-0 win. The Supercopa also comes back to Madrid. Everything's come back to Madrid. It is actually a quadruple winning season in a 2-0 win with Barcelona, but do not fear, we did test with some very smaller teams. Do check it out towards the end of the video. Now, in terms of the defensive variant, it is going to be a bit of a change going on because we are trying to maintain the lead. Now, obviously, we've kept with the diamond. I can't go too exotic with it because I want it still to be shaped as a diamond, hence the tactic name. But the back line is going to have a couple of changes, the wing-backs being the changes. They're going to be on support now, on cross-aim centre and stay wider. Both on support, both exactly the same. We're going to have a DM on defend, with the only additional instructions being take more risks and also mark tighter. Two very good instructions for him. We're going to have a central midfielder on support, on pass it shorter, and also tackle harder. We're going to remain with the Carrillo on support, on tackle harder. The advanced playmaker remains exactly the same as the default, and the front two also remain the same. So a lot of supportive roles in there, but obviously now we've introduced one real Holden DM midfield player who protects the back four really well. In possession, on a positive mentality, we're going to keep the width, we're going to keep absolutely everything the same, except be more expressive is going to now be gone. Same with overlap left and overlap right. The passing directness is now going to be much shorter because we're trying to maintain the ball, keep possession. The tempo remains exactly the same as the default version, and we've added on time wasting all the way to frequently. In transition, couple of things are going to change, so we are going to take counter off now because if there are any attacks that naturally happen, that is completely fine, but I'm not actively seeking out to try and send players forward. We're going to slow the pace down while rolling it out to the centre backs. In terms of out of possession, we're going to have the standard defensive line, the high pressing line of engagement, more often on the trigger press. You could argue you could even tone this down one and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. We also had a cracking time with Everton actually winning the league with this tactic. We definitely went out and scored goals. We weren't the best when it comes to defending. I think second or third best. A couple of teams did have off games, so I was very sort of iffy whether to put this in the testing, but at the end of the day, I simulate, I can't control what happens, so we're going to take it and run. Also, an absolutely incredible season with recently relegated Southampton in the Sky Bet Championship. 46 games played, 42 wins, 2 draws, and only the 2 losses for 128 points. A real standout, to be honest, because it is a massive trophy to win with a championship team. A 3-1 win over Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. That is going to give you guys 3 fantastic Ancelotti Diamond tactics as requested many times by you guys. If you guys do enjoy the tactics on this channel, please do leave a like, drop a little subscription below, and get commenting any rebuilds, any tactics you want to see, because I'm filling up the list. We're going to go again. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next one.